I still remember that night. God, I wish I could forget it. It was supposed to be one of those carefree weekend trips, the kind you look back on years later and laugh about over drinks. Instead, it became a memory that haunts us. The shadow in the corner of the room. There were 4 of us, best friends since high school in Flagstaff. Daniel was the ringleader, big guy, reckless energy. Maya was the balance, sharp, grounded, Daniel's girlfriend. Emily was the light, always humming, always smiling. And me? I'm Aaron, the quiet one, the guy who packs the extra batteries and checks the maps, the steady one. Daniel called it one last adventure before the year ends. If I had known what was waiting for us in the Coconino National Forest, I would have burned that map. We hiked about 2 miles in. The sun was fading, streaking the sky with purple and bruised orange. We found a clearing, set up the tent, sparked the fire, and for a while it was perfect. Burgers sizzling, beer cans cracking open, the fire popping against the cold mountain air. But even then, I couldn't shake the feeling. You know that feeling when the hair on your arm stands up and your lizard brain screams predator? Every time I glanced past the firelight, the darkness felt heavy, expectant. Then Emily stopped humming. She tilted her head. "It's too quiet," she whispered, "isn't it?" We all froze. She was right. No crickets, no wind in the pines, no owls, just silence. The kind of silence that feels like a vacuum. Then she wrinkled her nose. "Do you smell that?" At first I thought it was the charcoal, but then it hit me. A thick, rancid stench drifting from the trees like wet copper mixed with rotting meat. It coated the back of my throat. I saw Daniel grimace. Even Maya's eyes started to water. And then it came. A voice, faint, ragged. "Help me." We all went statuesque. Daniel dropped the spatula he was cooking with. It came from the deep woods, thin, echoing. "Someone's out there," Daniel said, but he didn't sound sure. Maya shook her head. "Nobody hikes this trail at night." Then it came again, clearer. "Help me." Maya stood up. She clicked on her flashlight. "We have to check." "Wait," I said. My stomach turned over. "Something feels off, Maya. Don't." Daniel grabbed a burning branch from the fire. "Stay close." We grabbed our own makeshift torches. The firelight flickered in our shaking hands. Then the voice came from 2 directions at once. Faint on the left, but sharp on the right. And the smell. God, the smell was choking us now. That's when I noticed Maya. She was walking toward the trees. "Maya, don't," Emily whispered. Maya didn't flinch. She didn't look back. Her eyes were glassy, shoulders stiff, like she was on a rail. She walked past the safety of the firelight, her beam cutting into the black. Then crack! A violent snap of branches. Her light jerked upward, slicing wildly through the trees, and then it dropped. Thud! Then came the scream, sharp, desperate, and cut off. Too soon. "Maya!" Daniel roared. He surged forward. I grabbed him. "No, don't." The forest erupted, not one voice, many, circling us. "Help me! Help me! Help me!" The voices were fractured, overlapping, and they all sounded exactly like Maya. I saw movement, something tall, too tall, limbs bent at the wrong angles, eyes glowing yellow between the trunks, 7, maybe 8 feet up. Daniel hurled his torch into the trees, screamed her name. The flare lit up bark, branches, but no Maya. Emily grabbed me. She screamed in my face, "Run!" We ran, blind terror. We stumbled down the trail, the cold air biting our lungs. The 2 miles back felt like an eternity behind us. The sound stalked us, claws scraping bark, heavy footsteps rushing close, then pulling back, teasing us, herding us like cattle. And the voices, now they were calling our names. Daniel, Aaron, Emily. It was Maya's voice, but warped, broken at one point. I swear I heard her whisper right against my ear. Aaron. I almost turned around. Emily shoved me. Don't look, just run. The trees began to thin, gravel crunched under our boots. The parking lot appeared like a ghost in the dark. Daniel's Jeep. Salvation. We got to the car, gasping, crying. Daniel reached for his pockets. Empty. Panic. Pure cold panic. The keys, he choked out. I left them at the camp. But Emily saved us. Without a word, she pulled the keys out from her pocket. She must have swiped them when we started screaming. She shoved them into Daniel's hands. He fumbled, dropped them. Move, I yelled. I shoved him aside and jumped into the driver's seat. For a second, silence returned. The woods went still. Even the smell faded. I jammed the key into the ignition. My foot slammed the clutch. The engine roared to life. The headlights flared on, cutting across the tree line. And that is when we saw it. At the far edge of the lot, just beyond the wash of beams, something was waiting. It was stretched thin, pale, limbs crooked, like bones that had been snapped and put back together wrong. It rose up in a series of jerks. Click, click, click. Its head lolled on its neck, twitching side to side. Then it locked onto us, pale, glowing eyes, unblinking. It shuffled closer to the light, and then it tilted its head, just slightly, in the exact same way Amaya always did when she was holding back a laugh. Its lips pulled back too wide, a grin full of jagged glass. It opened its mouth and it spoke with Maya's voice. Perfect. Flawless. Help me. I floored it. We didn't stop until we hit the main highway. The search lasted 3 days. Deputies, rangers, dogs. The dogs would catch a scent, run 50 yards, and then just stop, whimpering. They found a rabbit near the site, torn open. No predator tracks. On the second night, I heard a volunteer whisper a word to a deputy. Ye now Lushi. Skinwalker. The deputy told him to shut up, but I heard it. We never found Maya. It's been 5 years. Daniel drinks to forget. Emily won't even look at a tree line, and me? I still go back to the trailhead once a year. In the daylight, just for a few minutes, to leave a candle. But sometimes, in the quiet, I still hear it. Not in my head, out there. That same plea, that same voice. Help me. And every time, I wonder, is it really her? Or is it that thing that took her, still waiting for the rest of us to come back? You ever hear about things that make even the toughest outdoorsman freeze in his tracks? My father-in-law, Pop, we thought we knew every inch of him. Old, stubborn, fearless in the woods. But last November changed everything. Pop was sitting in his custom north-facing deer stand about 1,500 feet from the house. Solid, high up on a massive tree. Perfect view, perfect hiding spot. He was alone, just enjoying the silence. when he heard it. Footsteps coming from the south. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Getting closer. He called out, firm, commanding. A trespassing warning. Leave now and never come back. But from where he sat, he couldn't see behind him. The stand blocked his view. The footsteps stopped. And then, in 4 terrifying strides, it appeared just beside the tree, slightly forward, and it spun around, staring straight at him. And that's when Pop screamed. Whatever it was, it screamed back. And then it lunged. It jumped, tried to reach him, tried to tear the stand down. 15 feet up, and this thing was on him. Hands grabbing, strength unimaginable. Pop tried to react. He went for his rifle at .270, but fear got the better of him. The gun slipped. Over the rail it went. Panic set in. The creature, whatever it was, had already hit the bottom of the stand twice, and he knew his life was in danger. Survival instincts kicked in, and the only thing Pop could think to grab, cans of iced tea. Yeah, you heard me. Cans of iced tea. He leaned down, opened the cooler, and the creature backed up a few steps, like it was sizing him up, waiting for him to make a move. Pop swung a can with everything he had. Bam! Hit it square in the face. The thing doubled over, groaning, hands over its head. Not stopping there, Pop dumped the ice and water from the cooler on it, and then he even tried to throw the cooler itself. Missed. But it ran to the tree line by the creek, and it just watched him, rocking back and forth, like it was enjoying the fear it had just sown. Then Pop remembered he had his Colt 1911 in his backpack, dug it out, aimed, and fired. Missed. The creature vanished into the brush, north, crossing the creek and disappearing from sight. Pop climbed down eventually, trembling, white as a sheet, tears streaming down his face. First time in 32 years his wife had ever seen him cry. First time she'd ever seen fear in him. Since that night, he won't hunt, won't go near the tree line, won't even step onto the patio after dark. And here's the kicker. A few weeks ago, his truck broke down on a thick wooded dirt road. Midday, sunny, about 700 feet from the house. Instead of walking the short distance, he locked himself in the truck and called for help. Over and over, sobbing, panicked. His son-in-law had to drive all the way from Nacogdoches to rescue him from a 20-second walk. And now, Pop carries a .44 Magnum Colt Python everywhere he goes. Always. Just in case. And even then, I don't think he's ever really felt safe again. You might call him a hardened veteran, a lifelong outdoorsman, a fearless adventurer, but that changed him forever.